the NFL, the Cleveland Browns, the mistake by the lake. It's a fun quarterback competition. Do you want to call it that, or controversy? It's Shedeur Sanders versus Deshaun Watson. And Todd Monken, remember, he was supposed to talk to Deion Sanders at some point. Anyway, here's Todd Monken talking about the battle between the two quarterbacks.
Deshaun's athleticism shows up. Obviously, he's had that, but he's had his injuries that have set him back. So, but that's been, I wouldn't say a surprise, but it's exciting to see. It's a weapon for him. It's one of his superpowers is athleticism. And I think Shedeur's come miles in terms of his progressions, getting the ball out, his understanding of concepts. I think he's really come a long way.
Yeah, I am really the Shedeur thing is, I think, and I think Deion Sanders can rub people the wrong way, and I think a lot of his stuff is, it's superficial. Whatever. I don't think he's a great coach. I think he's kind of interesting. Whatever. But I'll say this. I think Shedeur was underdrafted. I'll say it now. I say it again. Maybe he's not a first-round pick. I thought he was late first, early second. But first of all, when you tell me he's not athletic, I watched when he played. He escapes the pocket better than a third of the league. When you tell me he doesn't have a big arm, it's good enough. He throws a very nice deep ball. When you tell me he's kind of wild, I think he throws accurately, moving left, right. Now, he doesn't have great physical trait. He's not super big, super strong, super arm, super mobile. He's B-ish at almost everything.
Right.
But this, he's not. He doesn't have a arm, a physicality, a athletic ability, a size. He doesn't. Okay, that's fine. But you can, not every quarterback. Where was Matt Ryan's A? Where was Kirk Cousins' A? Those guys, Dak Prescott. Dak's not a great athlete. Dak doesn't have a great arm. Dak isn't huge. Dak's won a hell of a lot of games being B+ at everything. Now, Dak and Kirk Cousins are also A+ pre-snap. And is Shedeur going to put in the time to be great pre-snap? That's a lot of years and a lot of time. But I don't see, everybody's kind of like, oh, he's not good. This is not a Super Bowl team. Play him every week and just see what he is. If he's not a franchise guy, he's so famous, maybe he's not a great backup like a Tim Tebow thing or a Cam Newton thing. You want him as a starter or not in the building. Johnny Manziel, same thing. I always felt Tebow, either he starts or make him a tight end. I don't want him backup quarterback.
Well, turning Tebow into a tight end wasn't exactly a brilliant move either. But yeah. I think Shedeur, for Colin, is definitely one of those situations where he can't seem to make up his mind. One minute he's calling him a franchise quarterback, the next minute he's saying he's not. And right now, it appears he's leaning more toward the franchise quarterback label. So it's interesting. There's a lot to unpack here. But before I do, Cleveland Browns fans, please don't forget to subscribe and watch the full-length video. When you do that, view counts go through the roof, subscriber numbers go through the roof. It's not about chasing views, not about chasing subscribers. It's about being able to create Browns content that people genuinely want to watch and discuss. I made a Browns video literally just last week, and almost nobody watched it. It just got no traction. And it's harder to make videos if no one's watching them. I want to be able to make Cleveland Browns content. So when you actually subscribe and watch the video at the same time, it creates such a meaningful difference. That way we can have honest, grounded, unbiased conversations about this team, because that's ultimately all I'm trying to do. So yeah, listen, we obviously know the fans want Shedeur more than anything. I can see how at this time, the end of May, a guy like Deshaun Watson is going to look better. What's interesting is that Todd Monken just talked about Watson's athleticism, and that's uninteresting. Gee to me at this moment. I understand that can be a weapon or whatever, but I'm all about how you run an offense, how you execute an offense. Monken talked about what Matt Ryan did excellently, what Kirk Cousins did, and he kind of backtracked a bit because he said they didn't do anything excellent. But then he said Kirk Cousins is excellent pre-snap. And it's like, yeah, what Kirk Cousins does at an incredible level is execute an offense, run the offense, carry out the coordinator's vision. And it's a bit of a dying art, but the whole pre-snap reads and everything, it's not asked as much from these quarterbacks anymore. Tom Brady has talked about this too, that the style of play these quarterbacks are asked to execute is just a lot different, especially in college, let alone the pros. Brady said that's why he thinks some of the quarterback play from young guys fails so much, or at the very least they struggle early in their careers. So it all depends on a few variables here. But if you're trying to figure out the quarterback situation and who can be your quarterback of the future, unless Deshaun Watson absolutely lights it up and you're looking at the 2017 version of him, whenever he really hit the ground running, unless you see that, unless you're convinced this guy is back, he's returned to form, we're going to be legitimate with him, let's get after it. We have the player we thought we paid for, anything short of that, I don't know why you wouldn't just put Shedeur UT there and continue going through the growing pains, continue the development, figure out if there's enough there to stick with Shedeur. If not, you then draft a quarterback in the next draft or whatever, and see if you can make that work. Because at this point, unless Deshaun Watson just completely lights it up, I don't really see the purpose. And it's interesting to compare that to how I feel about the Raiders with Mendoza and Kirk Cousins. There, I'm saying, no, start Kirk Cousins. Sit Mendoza. Start Cousins. As long as Cousins shows he's got enough gas left in the tank, enough juice to squeeze, all the metaphors and similes you want, yeah, put him in there. Keep Cousins there. Let Mendoza continue to learn, grow, and be patient. But in this situation, it's more the opposite. Unless Deshaun Watson, I don't care how functional or competent he is. No, you're trying to figure out what your ceiling is with Shedeur. Do you want to move forward with him? Do you want him to be your quarterback for the next 10 years or so? That's what you're trying to figure out, and you don't have that answer right now. Deshaun Watson takes away from that. Unless Watson has completely cratered, he's truly absolutely done, his career is over, then of course at this time in practices, OTAs, and preseason stuff, Watson is going to be better than Shedeur because he's been in the NFL longer. He's a veteran. He's played more football. So yeah, he's going to grasp concepts quicker. You heard him. Onken say, Shedeur is starting to understand the concepts better, the routes, etc. And it makes sense that a guy like Watson is going to be quicker at that, understand it faster, and there will be less translation. Shedeur has more to learn than Watson. So at this point in the season, Watson is going to have a big head start in that work. That doesn't mean he'll be significantly better on the field, but at this moment, you really have to figure out what Shedeur is showing you. At the very least, is he showing enough potential that if you put him out there, he can actually pop and continue taking big steps forward? With Deshaun Watson, to me it comes down to, is he proving to be an elite quarterback right now? That's really what it comes down to. Is he that guy? Is he the player where when we have him on the field, we feel like we've got a chance no matter what? Anything short of that, I'm thinking, what are we doing? Why are we messing around with that? And I don't care about how much they paid him in the past. None of that has anything to do with anything. That's why in my last Browns video, which very few people watched, but those who did, I appreciate it, I said that Monken pretty much stated he's not worried about anything in the past. He's just looking at what both quarterbacks show today. That's it. And that's 100% the right way to go about it. He said, I don't care what happened last year. I don't care what happened 4 years ago with Watson. I don't care what Shedeur did last year. None of that matters. I'm just focused on right now. What are you showing me right now? I'm not going to be beholden to decisions and moments of the past. It has nothing to do with me. I wasn't there. I'm here now. So I only care about what I see right now. That's the best way to approach it. But you still have to look at the whole balance of what you have right now versus potential. The decision-making about Shedeur versus Watson, the consequences are significantly different. Put it this way, if both Watson and Shedeur show they're good quarterbacks, oh wow, we're getting decent play out of both of them, then you're going to go with Shedeur because he's your quarterback of the future. You'll feel more comfortable moving forward with him. You're not necessarily going to have that sense with Watson at this point. Then you have to figure out how much money you're going to pay him, right? It's a weird situation. It's asymmetrical in that regard. That's why to me it's very binary. Deshaun Watson, are you special? Are you great? Are you showing you're that dude? Yes? Alright, then our hands might be tied. We're going to play you then. And we're all maybe a bit optimistic that we can get another 3 or so years out of you and say, let's do this, let's get this momentum going. If not, anything short of that, then let's see what Shedeur does. Let's see what he does for a full season, a full year under Todd Monken, and go from there. I think the decision making process is pretty straightforward. You have to understand the asymmetrical nature of it when looking at the decisions based on what you see out of Watson and the decisions that lead from what you see Shedeur do. I am curious to see how it unfolds. I wish we could also get more honest answers about what they're looking for and what they need to see from Shedeur to feel like he can be their quarterback of the future. But Todd Monken also needs to win pretty quickly. He's a head coach, brand new with Cleveland. He doesn't really have the leeway to say, yeah, whatever, we can go through some growing pains here and there. He has to prove he's the guy immediately. I don't care what his contract says. I don't care what his reputation is. He's got to win now. And that could potentially make him favor Deshaun Watson despite everything I just said, because it's like, well, this guy understands the system a lot more. He's ahead of Shedeur. I just feel more comfortable going into a game with that. And I understand that. That's why you have to weigh the whole present versus future situation. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns? Who do you think should get the starting role? How do you think this will unfold between Dion and Shedeur? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some debates. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you be a part of it. I want to build something we all genuinely feel connected to. Something we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.